One, we have had in 2022, there was a request that was put to do further demarcation of Queen Elizabeth National Park and the surrounding communities. There were previous surveys that were done. There's a word that Uganda Wildlife Authority was using for the digital ones. Now, when a letter was put in to request the Minister of Lands to do survey, like other members were saying here, a title and a title. So, what is the basis of the coordinates, for example, in that historical perspective of Queen Elizabeth National Park?
And how does GPS now relate with what you call infrastructure? Is GPS on a different infrastructure? Are we using the same infrastructure? Now that the infrastructure is off, is it still necessary? We need that.
Chair, it was a bit ashaming when a survey was done by a lands ministry. Government lost land, you can imagine. The coordinates took away the former Uganda Development Corporation premises. So the coordinates took much of the land for Uganda. We wondered where they were. Two communities, that was Katwe-Kabatoro Town Council, people lost much of their land to Uganda Wildlife Authority. And now we need to have a better explanation. What is the basis of the coordinates that were taken to avoid running conflicts in these communities of Kahendero, that is Mohocha Town Council, Katwe-Kabatoro. The other day we are negotiating now, the secondary school land was lost out of that survey. Double titling. And then lastly, Chair, this is to the Minister. We've had a historical issue in Kasese over land. In 2007, there's there are people who were resettled out of Queen Elizabeth National Park, and those who were Songora and other people in the district. Until today, much of the land where they were resettled were institutional lands. Those institutional lands, they have gone ahead to provide release letters for a generation of titles. It is now 20 years. 20 years. People have never been resettled. People have lost lives. People have been crippled because there is no what segments them from the landless people. And so land keeps so idle so that other encroachers, when the appetite in Kasese keeps developing each and other day. So Kasese sits on a very timing bomb over land issues. So we need an update on the development where we are now, on how the land titles, where they have reached. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, we will allow to have to push a little into one, but I wanted us to not really, we deviated entirely from, we just went to one question and deviated into so many other issues, and we left that. So I want now to use the remaining time so that these answers that the Minister and the rest will provide will come as we close. But now I wanted us to dash at least, because there are 16 questions, if we can cover 8, that would be good enough.
So there is a mix of responses that we have got from the field, and we haven't yet concluded on that. So once we conclude, then we can ably speak about it. But right now, we are still gathering views, because this issue being a very contentious issue, it requires consultations up to even His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. Of course, we have some feelers from the field, but we are still consulting. That's what I can say.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. I think Honourable members would
and I think we are due for the next meeting, where all these agencies are invited so that we move in a coordinated manner. We may not be able to say, Mr. President, remove these ones and we get the money, but the coordination is very important. That is what the minister has put in place.
Two things that could raise from that, Honorable Minister. The previous meeting I asked you, do these ad hoc committees, ad hoc persons report to you? And how can their work really? Because in the end, whatever they do, whatever recommendations they do, it comes back now to us, Parliament. In terms of legislation.
Of course, the reason, Honorable Chair and members, why we are doing the harmonization meetings is to streamline their operations. Previously, they have been handling matters without sharing their reports with us. And we were like, look, we are the ministry which is responsible for land issues, land administration in the country. Anything that you do, much as you got assignment from the president, we expect you to share whatever outcome you get in the field with us. Because at the end of that day, if you are complaining about double titling, who is expected to rectify that? It is the ministry. You cannot simply run on TV or radio and you think that the issue you are handling is handled. They need to share, and even I put Honorable Ntabazi to be the person receiving their reports, to receive their reports, but also requests for information, because they ask for information from our officers, which information, when taken, we don't know the outcome. At times you see on radio, at times you don't hear anything. So we're like, for harmonization and coordination, not even the commissioner. It must be the Minister of State responsible for lands to say, please give this institution this information. And even when they are done with their reports, sharing is not bad, because this is government. We are not acting as individuals. We are in these positions as entrusted by His Excellency. So once such reports are shared, they can even help us to clean ourselves in the system, but also correct some of the errors maybe we wouldn't have seen as political heads, but that one will give us an opportunity to understand what is taking place. So we are trying to reduce on the uncoordinated troop movements, but also harmonize on the operations of those so-called stakeholders.
Honorable Minister, I would not want to open a discussion on as to why we have a rampant problem of forest shopping in this country. I would not want to open that discussion. However, what is clear prima facie is that someone is trying to occupy a space of the ministry, and that should come as a result, because somehow, somewhere, the ministry has not occupied the space entirely. We need to raise the occasion. Later, I will invite our members, later when we find time, we need to listen to these people entrusted by the president in the exterior. General Chamuzi, I've seen who, and all of them are running there. And sometimes the uncoordinated troops even raises more dust than what could be there. We are looking ugly as a sector. We are looking very ugly. Later, when members have time, I will invite them to listen to these people. Also, information sharing, as you said. There was a holistic Bamugemereire report, which has never seen face anywhere. I'm told only the ministers, the cabinet is privy to that report, and any attempt to get it is called smuggling or something. It's almost criminal. We need to, if we want to address, we need to holistically share information and be guided. But I don't want to really open the box of the forest shopping. But it is something that is bad. It is making us ugly. And the earlier we raise to the occasion and solve it, the better. Thank you very much. PS, proceed to the next question.
Thank you so much, Chair. I would like to ask Commission on Registration round of 5, 6, and 7. A lot as indicated, but getting very little out of that collection. First of all, there is what we collect as non-tax revenue, which is last year it was 6 point something billion, what we collected last financial year.
6 points.
6 point, what is the correct figure? Okay, but it is 6 billion. And some few.
That comes from fees, registration fees. And all that.
Yes. Now there is the stamp duty which is not attributed to us. That is that URA tax does not attribute it to us as having collected by us.
I remember the question of fees. Commissioner dodged and says he's not sure, he's not aware if a commissioner of Uganda, Ministry of Lands, in charge of registration, is not clear on fees involved. Maybe my grandmother in the village knows better.
Chair, you didn't give us a chance to tell you about the fees.
Yes.
The total fees collected by government is 85,000. 20,000 goes to district, 65,000 goes to consolidated fund.
85,000?
Yes.
Break it down.
The 20,000 goes to the district. It's collected at the district.
That is it? What is it called?
Pardon?
What is it called?
Application fees.
Application fees, yes.
Yes. So the money that comes to ministry is registration fees.
How much is that?
Assurance registration is 10,000. Then there's assurance of title fees, 20,000. Then there's some 30,000 that comes. Title charge 30, and the total is 65,000. Now,
I've not yet seen how the 65 comes, because you said 20,000 application fees.
No, I said the total is 85.
Yes.
Of that, 20 goes to a district, 65 comes to a consolidated fund.
Okay. So I needed 20,000 application fees.
Yes.
10,000 registration fees, which comes to
The
ministry.
consolidated
Fund. Then
Yes.
30,000
that is
title charge.
Title charge.
Then what else?
Then assurance of title 30.
Assurance of title is 30,000. But Commissioner, are you aware that for someone to bring just an application in the district land boards, first of all is asked for fees for the land board chair, of which it is now a culture that most of them drive Range Rovers and Land Rovers, and they will ask for a minimum of 300,000. Are you aware?
Chair, I need to say something, that as we discuss, survey is a price.
Collected, we get to know at the end of each financial year. And even we used that, I remember some time back in cabinet, to convince His Excellency and cabinet members to always give us some money for the ministry to operate better and be in position to even get more money. Because at times we get little revenue because the offices are not well facilitated to do what they want. You will realize that at our MZOs, you might find the MZO, the machines that are used, maybe they have broken down and they have taken months without repair. Officers say we don't have transport, fuel to reach where we are supposed to go. The generators are down. So while I give us the money, we make the MZOs function better, the ministry does its work better so that we get more money. And they had even accepted that maybe they would give us 10% of what is being collected to enable us put it back in the key offices that are mandated to collect these revenues. And I believe that the 1.5% which we are talking about, it's what Parliament guided. And even yesterday in Cabinet, Honorable Musasizi brought back a review of what had come out of Parliament, and we are standing by the 1.5. But with that 1.5 again as stamp duty, we need to encourage people to be open. And we believe that by encouraging people to be open is to digitize all the processes, to reduce on the human interface and interaction, because once a transaction or a transfer is going to be done and the process begins with somebody who is entering the information onto the system straight away, We believe that there will be no leakages. Even the values would be automatic rather than negotiating with our officers. Then you were talking about the fees. Sorry to take you back. For the district land boards, we have been reviewing fees that people pay for the different small services in the ministry. And inspection fees, I think we are also looking at the inspection fees to put a cap so that the districts are guided by the fees, that this is the fee according to the schedule, by the regulation which you are supposed to get, not exceeding what has been put in our schedule. We believe that once we have gone through all the gazette mates and the approvals, then those fees would be binding.
That's by regulation?
Yes, by
from
regulation,
your office?
yes. Then those fees would be binding everybody, including the district land boards across the country.
Before I go to another thing, Mr. Gilbert Keremondo, I saw in one of the documents you presented earlier when you came here, you had indicated that Love Miss required 7.1 billion, but you had 5 billion, and therefore there was a gap of around 2 billion. It kept me wondering, is it all that we need? We need only that 2 billion to have Love Miss cascading down so that we standardize this country and have, I really want to appreciate what that gap was for. Do we need more? Were you talking of a tranche of only 7 billion this year, maybe next year 7 billion? What was it really that was?
Chair, through the Honorable.
Members, I want to thank you very much. Sincerely, you have done justice to us, and indeed you have given us time. I save a few members because of the activities which are going on at Parliament. Chairman, I want to thank you very much for the first interaction with us, and maybe the second with the team here. But this should be the first, I think, to go deeper into the insight of the ministry. You've seen many of the challenges which are coming up because of continuous human interaction with the system. If we fully digitalized and left the interaction of persons to the system and allowed the system to interact with us, we would really do better. Like other ministries have done it, the Ministry of Works has done it with the national, with the driving permits, then with the number plates. The Ministry of Internal Affairs has done it with the national IDs. Even Electoral Commission has done it. We should also think of fully digitalizing so that we reduce on all these challenges you are hearing about with tampering with the system. However, you'll go into detail. We have the national land system, and then we are coming up with the...
Sorry to cut you short. Which department? Is it this that has the blockchain?
Yes.
At our subsequent meeting, please. And when we prepare a presentation, you should be able to model it to fit in a committee meeting.
Yes.
When we say a presentation, don't go and make 30 pages presentation. Make something simple that gives the most important information.
Very true.
That with the time we have here, we utilize it very well. Like I've pointed out, I'm interested in Love Miss, I'm interested in the blockchain, I'm interested in cadastre, some of those things. And also we need to, before we leave, we need to have one focal person for documentation, because now we are receiving different documentation on answers to queries, so we need to have one focal person for some.
Thank you. And we've been in other committees as ministers. What we normally do, we entrust the PS with all the information, comes and presents sector by sector, unless the committee wants direct detail from a commissioner. That's when there is maybe a chance for a commissioner to speak. But all this information is supposed to be packaged in one simplified document, which the minister presents, and the PS gives the detailed administrative details, and then now the rest comes with the what?
Minister, for these particular things that I have pointed, I need a detail. But when I ask for detail, don't oversupply me with the English than
detail. Yes, so I am
like Commissioner Mugaine. He has oversupplied me with a lot of English but little information. We lost some time there.
So with the time, you will understand that the challenge of Ministry of Lands begins directly from the land boards, which land boards also may not be the problem, goes to the surveys and mapping, which also comes to the administration, and administration comes to the registration. And Mugaino, being the end user, carries the blame. So I've come to understand this sector, and with detail, with the time, we shall understand where the problem is and we shall tackle it. I want you to assist us as a sector. We shall help you to give information to you. We shall give you all information so that we move at the same level and clean the name of Ministry of Lands completely and also. And finally, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has been fully constituted with the new energy, yes, strong old energy for institutional memory and new energy for reinforcement. I want to assure you, the gaps you were seeing between the time of election and the time of appointment will be closed. Because that is the time they used to go on Twitter, to go what, everybody to pretend being a minister, everybody to pretend doing what. We've dug into detail of these people. Some of them are not appointed by the president to go into land matters. They are just jumping around to look for where to position themselves. And by that time, they thought maybe the president would catch their eye, or they catch the eye of the appointing authority to get positions. So that one failed. Those ones in position, I want to assure this committee, are going to fully take charge, and you will see the results. God bless.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you. Allow me to invite the Honorable Cabinet.
She has said it all. But I want to confirm to you that we are ready to sort out most of the challenges that have been raised by members. Good enough for some of us who were around last term know where the problem lies. And these people also know that we know where the problem lies. So we are embarking on addressing those challenges. I know it has to be a whole of government approach because some of the problems, like you've heard, they are historical, but I want to assure you that working with you and the members concerned, we will be in position to address most of these challenges. Even my officers now know that they can be taken on when something goes wrong, because they have been to IGG, they have been to police, they have been to State House and corruption unit,
Maybe now
meaning that they are not.
Maybe they believe now they are immune.
No. They know that this is Chisanja no more sleep. It is Chisanja no more sleep, and what we expect are results. We don't expect any more excuses, any more meandering, because for them, actually, most of them have been here more than us, longer, more than us. So we pledge that we will rectify. Kasese, I know we had reached a point of giving titles to your people, and ULC is handling this matter, because this matter went through a cabinet subcommittee. They made their report, which report was forwarded to ULC. We shall follow up to see how far they have gone in as far as implementing that. Then, Chair, they built up environment professionals. Of course, you remember last time we handled the valuers, the fiscal planners, and I know we have the quantity surveyors and others. We are going to ensure that we fast track the processes of making those laws or those bills, and we will be working definitely with you to see that we have the bills presented, but also followed up to their logical conclusion. Honorable Chair and members, I want to thank you once again. We pledge the information you have asked about LoveMIS, about blockchain, about cadastre. All that information is going to be prepared and will be availed on time. I task the Undersecretary that let us ensure that documents are prepared and members get those documents on time, such that when we appear, you have gone through them, and where you need us clarify more, it will be very easy, because you have been given this information like a week before our appearance. I thank you for always supporting us, and we pledge that we'll always work with you to deliver. Other questions that have come in as a way of reaction and also responding to the submissions made by members, we will continue addressing them, because some of the issues that were raised, they need information to be given to us, deep, detailed information to enable us act, but also probe further. Then the rest of the general questions, we will be responding as we come. That is next week. You have suggested next week, as this team will be appearing again before you. That's all.
I need to make it clear that tomorrow we shall continue like we